All right, well, listen, so you've picked three games that we're going to talk about, and obviously before filming, you were sort of mentioning, obviously, that some teams are already through, and just to bet, be a little bit careful with your betting. Do you want to expand on that for our viewers?
Yeah, I think Colombia have arguably been the best team so far. Okay, so they weren't firing on all cylinders against Qatar, but they did pick up a 1-0 win. They dominated possession. They were very comfortable, and they got a great 2-0 win against Argentina. But they've now topped their group. There's no way that anyone can get close to them in that group. So there's no real impetus for them to win the final game. For that reason, I think they'll leave players out. They'll rest their key stars. They'll give a run out to some other players. So I'd probably avoid betting on that game, particularly because there's not a great deal of value there. So you kind of really have to look at the teams that are exceptionally motivated to win their games. And I'd leave Colombia out as a result of that. Everybody else is still jostling for position, trying to make it through to the knockout stages with a good draw. But Brazil, the other team that I've probably decided to leave alone for this round of fixtures, because I think they're a bit too unreliable. Very poor result last time out. I thought they would win it. They had a couple of goals disallowed due to VAR, but a 0-0 draw against Venezuela isn't a great result for the home team, for the tournament favourites, for a team that's, you know, got as much quality as Brazil. They were booed off the pitch. It was a bit of a sorry state of affairs for them. So I think they will be really keen to bounce back with a victory. But Peru are a bit of a stubborn side. They're quite strong defensively. And the odds on offer for Brazil don't really appeal to me. So for that reason, I'm going to leave that one out as well.
Yeah. Well, so you've got three matches that you're going for, one from Group A, B, and C. So Bolivia versus Venezuela there. Venezuela 1.55, draw 4.25, and Bolivia 7.5. Neither team have managed a win there. Venezuela, obviously, 2 draws, 2 scoreless draws. So they haven't got on the score sheet, but they haven't conceded either. So they've definitely got that stellar defence there. Do you think Bolivia can score against Venezuela?
No, not necessarily. I was actually looking at Venezuela to win to 0 because they've kept 2 clean sheets so far, which is very good, really. I mean, on paper, 2 draws out of 2 doesn't look that great. But when you consider they had a man sent off against Peru, still did well to get a 0-0 draw then, and then they held Brazil to a clean sheet. You're coming up against players like Firmino, Coutinho, arguably the best attacking side in the world, and they dealt with the threat that Brazil posed them. So I think Venezuela fans should be feeling quietly confident in their chances of winning this game. 2 options, really, I think, because there's not a great deal of, but there's all right value. You can get 1.57 on the Venezuela win, but you can either go half-time, full-time, or you can go for Venezuela to win and the under 3.5 goals.
Yeah.
And I've found 2.1 on the latter option. I can't imagine them scoring 4.
Yeah.
after drawing a blank in their first 2 games. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring contest. But I think they should have enough about them to pick up maybe a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 sort of victory here. So I think Venezuela to win and the under 3.5 goals looks tempting at 2 points.
I pushed a little bit further than you and went for the Martin Classic at Venezuela and the under 4.5 goals because I thought there was plenty of value there, 1.83. So, yeah, I'm going for the under 4.5 goals. Obviously, Bolivia, quite a leaky defence. So, whether Venezuela will certainly keep it tight from their back end, but I don't know, that's why I pushed it to the under 4.5 goals. But on the same page. All right, Qatar versus Argentina, now Group B. Argentina 1.29, draw 5.5, and Qatar 13. Argentina, now you've talked about Brazil. Argentina have been a massive disappointment, I think. Obviously failed to score against Colombia, 1-1 draw against Paraguay. I know Qatar, you start to think, do I give Qatar a plus on the Asian handicap here? Or are they going to turn things round on the final minutes?
I mean, they've been horrendous so far. Before the tournament began, you asked myself and Alex who we thought would do well in this competition. And I was quite disparaging about Argentina, and I think that's been vindicated. They're very good going forwards with likes of Messi, Aguero, Dybala, but they've got no midfield. They're really poor in defence, and so it's played out. They were actually quite lucky to get that draw against Paraguay. They got a penalty. Fortunately, my tip on that one was Messi to score at any time, and he buried the penalty, so I was pleased about that. But yeah, I wouldn't be feeling very confident if I was an Argentina fan right now. Having said that, they're coming up against Qatar. They've done pretty well in this tournament so far, but you look at the footballing pedigree there. They've got no real heritage, no particular star players, and they haven't got a great deal of quality. I think they've exceeded expectations so far. Someone like Lionel Messi really should be destroying a team like this. It's in South American soil. There's plenty of reasons why Argentina should win this game. I think they're going to be highly motivated for it. So far, this tournament's been an utter embarrassment for them, and if they don't get an emphatic win here, they're just going to be mauled to an even greater extent in the press. And, Messi's international career is just going to have another cross against it. So I think they'll come out all guns blazing in this one, try to prove something to the world. I'm looking at Argentina half-time, full-time here at 1.91. I think that appeals to me a bit more than Argentina to win to 0, simply because we know that this Argentina defence is leaky, haven't kept a clean sheet so far. But I think going forwards, they should have a bit too much for a very limited Qatar defence.
Yeah, but I would have said the same against Paraguay. I'm just a little bit nervous. I actually did not bring any. I'm just going to see if I can look at what the odds are for giving Qatar a plus. I'm staying away from the match. Maybe a Messi anytime, but I'm staying away. I just think Argentina is very unpredictable at this moment in time. Right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see if there is any value. Probably not. Qatar plus 1.5, 2.0, plus 2, 1.52. All right. I like your bet, but me personally staying away from that one. Finally, but it is their final chance there to prove really what they're made of, and you should hope that they will come out all guns blazing. Chile versus Uruguay now. Uruguay 2.15, draw 3.3, and Chile 3.4. A lot on the line for both of these teams as they fight for first place in Group C. Chile obviously have yet to concede a goal, but Uruguay have a great offence, and I think they'll struggle to keep them out. I like the Uruguay win, 2.15. I like the team. Are you playing the Uruguay win?
I am, yeah. I have to qualify it by saying we haven't actually seen Chile play their second game yet. They're up against Ecuador in about 5 hours. So that's when we're going to get a bit more of an insight into them. They did very well in their first game. They beat Japan 4-0. And then we just saw Japan hold Uruguay to a 2-2 draw, which I think is going to inflate the odds a bit on Uruguay. But I do feel that Uruguay are the better team. I was surprised to see them draw with Japan. I think they're a much better team than that result suggests. Between the two of these sides, I think Uruguay are the better team. I think they'll go deeper into this competition. And I do fancy them to win this game. I hopefully for them that result against Japan is just a blip. They didn't lose. Not too devastating, but that was a game they really should be winning. If you look at the quality they've got, Jimenez and Godin at the back, Cavani and Suarez up front, Lucas Torreira in midfield. They're one of my tips. I think they could definitely win this tournament because I'm not really rating Brazil. So I think either Colombia or Uruguay has a great chance of winning this tournament. But they're going to want to top their group. They're going to want to surge through in confident fashion. So I do like Uruguay to win, 2.15. They'll have had a bit longer to rest than Chile, who are playing soon. That could help. And yeah, I just think that they got better all-round players, so I'm going to go for the Uruguay win, 2.15.
Yeah. What about a little bit of extra value there? Uruguay and the over 1.5 goals, 2.7, or even both teams to score. Do you think we're going to see goals from both sides here?
Yeah, I do think actually both teams to score looks like a good bet, especially after that 2-2 draw that Uruguay just had against Japan, who aren't exactly down for their attacking prowess. Strange because they should be really solid defensively, Uruguay. They were great at the World Cup. As I say, Godin's now left Atletico Madrid, but him and Jimenez have been playing together there for many, many years. They've got a good understanding. They should be really strong. But I guess Chile should be confident after that 4-0 win against Japan. We'll see how they get on against Ecuador. I do fancy them to win that. I've got money on them winning that.
Yeah.
And this could be the decider as to who tops the group. So it'll be a really interesting game. I think it should be a good, open, entertaining one. And both teams to score doesn't look like a good option to me, yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I'm liking Uruguay in the over 1.5 goals at 2.7, going for some value there. All right, Martin, before I let you go, please run down your final bets there for round 3 Copa America.
Thanks, Natalie. Yeah, I'm going to go for Venezuela and the under 3.5 goals against the struggling Bolivia side. Argentina half-time, full-time against Qatar, 1.91. And Uruguay straight win against Chile, 2.15. But I do like both teams to score in that one. And if we see a big win for Chile tonight, I'm going to go for both teams to score.
Ooh, yes. Wait for the final results. Yes, Venezuela and the under 4.5 goals, 1.83. And Uruguay and the over 1.5 goals at 2.7. That's round 3 in the bag.